Hi everyone, and welcome to new video, a new movie review. And I'm actually going to review another Arnold Schwarzenegger film. I already did review my favorite movie that he did, Predator 1987. But now today I'm gonna talk about and review The Terminator, which is the first movie in the franchise that started all. And yeah, it's actually a cover that I do have, Schwarzenegger. But this is actually the Terminator T800 Model 101. Kyle Reese, played by Michael Biehn, and of course Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, and directed and written by James Cameron. And yeah, this is gonna be my first review after I did Predator. And what did I say about the Terminator that was already said? T1 is a classic, is a masterpiece. I would say a god among a god among sci-fi films and god among action films. But I would say a god among sci-fi films. Because in my opinion, I'm a huge fan of this movie. Love T1, and I'm really thinking about replacing this cover because so much I love this film. But I'll show you the disc, which is better. This is T1, or more Model 101 T800. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movie till this day. I love The Terminator. Huge fan of this movie. One of my personal favorite sci-fi movies ever. To me, the T1 is actually the best one. I'll say, there is a T2 is actually a lot of people's best film, but I'm a fan of this movie. This is actually my favorite film. T1 is actually a classic. Is a sci-fi Gotham on sci-fi films. They don't make a classic movies like this anymore. They don't. And I would say Arnold Schwarzenegger's best film. It's really hard because my favorite is actually Predator that he did by Arnold. Second favorite is actually The Running Man. Third one would be Total Recall. I think this one or Red Heat, one of those two will be my favorite in my top 5. Definitely in top 5. I love Terminator. I love the skeleton. I love Arnold. He's fantastic. Arnold is actually fantastic. He's great. I mean, this is actually his best role that he ever did. He played convincingly Terminator. No one plays the Terminator like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I wish that he will do nowadays those kind of characters that he will play. He plays the most fierce, killing, unstoppable machine. A fierce, killing, unstoppable machine. A cyborg called the Terminator. And I just miss this kind of movies, and I'll say it's not only a masterpiece, it's a classic. I love this movie to death. I love the Terminator. Terminator is Arnold's best film, in my opinion. Yes, many people say that would be Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I agree. I love the second one, but I love this one more. Even as a kid, this is actually the first one of the two I saw. And I always thought that this one was actually better than the second one. I know it's not better, but at that time as a kid, I thought it was better. Because I love the idea, a man and a woman being hunted down, and I love that idea. I just love that. And the Terminator speaks to me. James Cameron and of course I think was that time his girlfriend, but later they married. Gail and Hurd, they actually wrote a screenplay. And by the way, everything is so practical effects were done by Stan Winston, who also did a special creature feature for Predator, for Aliens, and he also worked on this movie. Stan Winston was fantastic. He did mechanical cyborg and the skeleton with red eyes, which are scary. And why I love this movie so much is because it's a horror. It's like a slasher film. It's so horror. It's serious. It's realistic. It's kind of really real done. I mean, they aren't gonna do those kind of movies anymore. It's just not gonna do that. And I love the Terminator. Like I already said, Arnold Schwarzenegger's best film. James Cameron. And before I continue, what the story is about, already release was actually 26 October 1984, but was budget for the film was actually $6,400,000. But only $6 million they actually created that kind of movie. James Cameron wanted an idea that there will be two Terminator movies, two Terminator fighting each other, but that time there weren't that kind of effects that he wanted, so he couldn't do it, so there is only one Terminator and one soldier, from the future, which I love that. But yeah, in the year of darkness, 2029, the rulers of this planet devised the ultimate plan. They would reshape the future by changing the past. The plan required something that felt no pity, no pain, no fear, something unstoppable. They created the Terminator. So that's actually the taglines on poster, the Terminator. But yeah, worldwide was $78 million. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was only paid $750,000, $750,000. It wasn't his pay, wasn't that much great, one of the problems. James Cameron, don't ask me where his idea came from, but James Cameron, that time his girlfriend, private fiance, Gail and her, they wanted to do a sci-fi horror film, and I love that. The cast will work very well, and of course, actually, I wrote down. The Orion Pictures, the studio Orion, they wanted that someone, they actually wanted someone, they actually wanted somebody who's popularizing in the US, an actor who's becoming a popular and is rising in the US, but he also has a foreign appeal, and of course co-founder of Orion, Mike Midday, I think it was Midway met Arnold, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he really liked him, he really liked Arnold Schwarzenegger's presence, so he sent the script to his agent, and of course James Cameron at the time was skeptical about recasting Arnold Schwarzenegger for this film, for Kyle Reese. So he had devised a plan in which he agreed to meet Schwarzenegger, approximately for the lunch, and he devised a plan in which he will start fighting with Schwarzenegger, and then he would actually, came back to him there, by uncasting him, in which he would. In which he will return to Heimdall and find him unfit for the role, in which he would find Arnold Schwarzenegger unfit for the role. But Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually he went and so convinced Cameron how the villain, the character should be played. He was so convinced. He convinced him that James Cameron, he said, shut up, stay still. He drew sketches, and he found out that that Arnold would be actually more fit for that he will be more fit for the Terminator. He said he will do a hell of a Terminator. And at the time, when the studio was interested for the project, Orion Studio were actually very interested for the project. They decide to hire James Cameron. I mean, they wanted, like I said, they wanted someone who's been rising in the United States. that he's becoming a star. And at first, also Arnold wasn't happy about this film. Like in an interview, he said he's making a shit movie, but he wasn't really worried if this movie won't be a success. If it will launch and destroy his career, it wouldn't. But he find the character very interested. And of course, the Arnold's agent was trying to pursue Arnold Schwarzenegger to choose the role of Kyle Reese, of action hero, but Arnold wasn't interested that much. And like I said, Cameron wanted O.J. Simpson, but he found it too nice not to play a killer, so the idea of O.J. Simpson being the Terminator was scrapped. But he found that Arnold will be really fit he will make a hell of a Terminator. They tried, I'm definitely say, they tried a few screenshots, and I think the audience loved Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's just my opinion, but it felt that they loved him. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, he tried to avoid at any cost Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn because he was trying to kill them. He avoided them at any cost. There's also one of the scenes when he was with all the skeleton, all makeup from the Terminator. He walked in a restaurant unaware he was still in makeup. But Arnold Schwarzenegger was fantastic. He wasn't much of an actor. He was more bodybuilder. And when I watched his movies last year, when I did movie marathon, he wasn't that much great of an actor. But over the 80s, after the Conan movies, he became very popular. And he did not like Conan the Destroyer because they made less serious, they made more a comedy or more humoristic, and he wasn't happy with that sequel. But when he did this Terminator, it was really brilliant. The story is brilliant. James Cameron wrote and directed this movie perfectly. Arnold plays the character of the Terminator that time perfectly. It became his trademark. Which I forgot to mention. But of course, James Cameron also wanted to cast Sylvester Stallone and Mel Gibson. They both rejected the idea. Sly later he did this movie in the middle. I'm showing the finger, and that's Demolition Man, another sci-fi film. My favorite sci-fi film is just the movie I show you, Demolition Man, then Predator 2, Predator. I think the number 4 will be The Running Man, number 5, Universal Soldier. This is probably my number 6 favorite sci-fi film. And a lot of people actually more love Star Trek movies or Star Wars movies. I am a fan of the Terminator or Demolition Man, Predator movies, Universal Soldier that I review. I'm a fan of those movies that has action. And this movie is like a slasher film, Arnold Schwarzenegger was not just a fierce cyborg character, but he looked like a killer. He was unstoppable killing machine. And like I said, he played the character so well, like it was right in the skin. And I'm saying James Cameron is actually, in my opinion, did a masterpiece. My favorite that he did is Aliens. This will be my second favorite. I love the Terminator. Love the idea being a horror film, being a sci-fi film. I love that the deals with time travel, with paradox, with time travel. I love everything that they did. And Cameron and Gillian Hurt were great. The music score was done by Brad Fidel. It was done by Brad Fidel. I don't have right here, but the music score was done by Brad Fidel. I love the music score. And I also love the cast. Lance Henriksen is this movie, from this movie Hard Target and from Aliens. He worked well with James Cameron. Michael Biehn later did, he did the character Dwayne Hicks, which is actually my favorite character he ever played. But Kyle Reese will be my second favorite character. And in my opinion, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and Michael Biehn, they did all great job. Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, was great. She has great tits. I love the nudity. She has great tits. best performance, and she's the only Sarah Connor for me. She's beautiful, brilliant, and she's a scared victim. Just a waitress. She's a scared victim before she was even the gorilla. Before she was a she warrior. She was a scared young girl. She was a teenager. And I just love when she was so beautiful. She parked the motorcycle. She was so beautiful. This is just a masterpiece. And I always felt that her character is such a good person in this movie. Then the sequel I didn't like she was in that hospital, she was breaking people's arms. I didn't like her. And I'm talking about as I was being a kid. I did pass now, but as a kid, I always thought that she was much better. I thought those three players worked very well. Paul Winfield is Detective or Lieutenant Traxler, which I love that. Lance Henriksen plays Detective Vukovic. I love him so much. I love him bad guy in Hard Target, which is my favorite action film of all time. And it's just great, just everyone great. Yeah, but also the final scene where Sarah Connor, was driving, the final scene when she was driving to the highway, that was used without any permit. And when police officers stopped them, Gail and Cameron convinced them that they're actually filming actually a student film for UCLA, so they let it go. But I love that, the reason why it's not only special effects or great mechanical effects, the cyborg effects, with and the skeleton with red eyes, and all cyborg. That was so fantastic direction by James Cameron. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger Cameron worked so well that he signed to do the sequel right away. And I think the Terminator was not Arnold. James Cameron's first movie, second movie. Piranha 2 was his first movie in Italy. Then he did this movie. And fantastic movie. What can I say? It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's a classic action film. And like I said, the movie talks about year 2029, which is also in the future, which starts the battle. Humanity is fighting those machines. The Terminators, they're actually machines in the future, but the battle is going to be start in the present today, 1984. So I think it was May 12, 1984. People, I'll just call them Skynet, the machines they send back, a fierce unstoppable killing machine played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, T-800 Model 101, or just call him the Terminator, which his mission is to find and kill Sarah Connor, in which is a woman. She's gonna actually make a unborn. She's going to born a child that's gonna be a fearless leader of the human resistance in the future. While the humanity sends back Kyle Reese, which is actually a Sergeant Kyle Reese from I think was he's Sergeant Kyle Reese from Platoon or from Unit, he's a future soldier that they send him back, in which he has to find Sarah Connor and protect her at all costs and helps her out. He was a volunteer. He chose this mission. And in Los Angeles, a brick light shows up and two naked men appear. And when you see Michael Biehn fall down, that was done for real. It was realistic. He really fall down. He said it was kind of really painful, when he landed, it was painful. But that was done for real. And I love the aspect, Arnold walks in the first, and we see all the night scenes. I love the night scenes in this movie. He shows up and we see three punks. One of them is Bill Paxton, rest in peace. He was later Hudson, and he was I think it was William Hudson, Private William Hudson in Aliens, and later he was in Predator 2, Jerry Lambert, the Lone Ranger, and he was killed by the Terminator, he was killed by Alien, and he was killed by Predator, and I just love that. And one of the punks is also Brian Thompson from Cobra, the Night Slasher. And he gets killed by Terminator, which he punches, makes a hole and see all blood, He throws, Bill Paxton kills him. And the other one, he gives him clothes, And just, it's a really great effect, a great slasher effect, It's like a slasher film. And the other man, shows up, appears in the midnight, during the night. And he steals the clothes from a homeless man, and he's on a run by the cops. He goes in the mall, steals clothes, and he also steals the gun. Ithaca, I think was Ithaca 37 12 gauge. In which he decides that he's gonna find Sarah Connor. And I love when Terminator shows up in that store, played the store by the gun store owner was Dick Miller. Rest in peace, he passed away. I don't know when, but I saw when there was a cast where it's Now and Then, but he passed away, the character. And Arnold grabs all the guns, he used the gun, the shotgun. He used the shotgun. French's past 12 gauge, grabs the bullets, and the guy says, hey, you can't do that. He goes and shoots him, bang. He goes and shoots him, wrong, shoots him. He goes to the house, and there's this older woman, and Terminator says, Sarah Connor. She goes, yes. Boom, shoots her, right, shoots her, boom. He goes, boom, boom, shoots her, I love that. And then we see actual Sarah Connor played by Linda Hamilton, and that's the actual Sarah Connor. It's actually Sarah Connor. And when Sarah, she's a waitress, and with her roommate and best friend Ginger, played by I think it was Bess Mott. It was Bess Mott by Ginger, in which also her boyfriend, Ginger's boyfriend, Matt, played by Rick Rossovich, who was in Top Gun, and he was later in Pacific Blue, the TV show, cops on Biker Patrol. And calls her, and because it's Friday night, they both were getting ready, but her date from Sarah, he said that he's not going to, he canceled their date. Sarah goes to restaurant, something to eat. The time Terminator shows up by Sarah Connor's place, because he finds her. He shot another Sarah Connor, and he goes, and there's a fight scene between Matt and Terminator. Terminator has no problem to trash him and shoots him, and we see like Ginger sees and Schwarzenegger with his gun, with his laser gun. I think was AMT Hardballer 45, alongside with the laser. He goes and shoots her, and she falls down, and he goes, shoots her, bam, 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 boom, 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 shoots her, bloody. And then finds out that Sarah is now a Technor, because she finds that there's another Sarah Connor been dead, two Sarah now, and she finds out that someone is actually following her, and that's Kyle Reese. That's actually Kyle Reese, a soldier who has to protect her, played by Michael Biehn. And and that's what happened, And she goes to Technor, she pays the ticket, she goes and pays the ticket, she goes and pays the ticket, and that time Kyle Reese shows up, she calls the cops, the Terminator, the Terminator shows up, Technoir, the guy says, oh, he didn't pay. He goes and squashes his hand, and the Technoir, I love that Kyle Reese, doesn't kill anyone, that he stabs him, that he goes and stabs him, and he goes and he goes and I love that he saves everyone, because Terminator with Uzi, with his submachine Uzi, goes machine gun and fires everyone. He uses Uzi and fires everyone, with his submachine. And Arnold Schwarzenegger perfectly plays the character. He perfectly plays the character. No one plays so great. He goes and shoots with Uzi everyone. And I love that Kyle doesn't hurt anyone. He goes and he goes and tries to put the people out of the way. And Terminator goes shoots everyone. Kills dozen people. And I love when Kyle Reese with his AK-37 goes and shoots it, boom, 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 boom. Shoots him so much that that Arnold falls through the glass window. He falls through the glass window. And he goes and says to Sarah, "Come with me if you wanna live." And that's Michael Biehn's favorite line that he said, "Come with me if you wanna live." Love that. And they both go escape. There's a car chase scene, and Arnold jumps on the car, breaks the glass window, tries to grab Sarah. He falls down, to the car, grabs Terminator, grabs the cop, shoots, punch him in the car, grabs his car, go after him. They both escape. Kyle Reese and Sarah both escape, and he says, and they go to the parking lot. And he tells her what's going on, that she's a target, for termination. And the Terminator is not gonna stop. You must understand, the Terminators out there, it can be bargained with, it can be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And will not stop ever until you are dead. And I love that line. I'm not even sure if I correctly said, it can be bargained with, it can be reasoned with, it feel no pain, it feel no pity, remorse, no pity or remorse or pain, and he won't stop ever until you are dead. And yeah, he won't stop ever until you are dead. And I love those lines, those lines, you must understand the Terminators out there. And I love when Kyle Reese is trying to, Kyle and Sarah get arrested, and what I love about this film, Kyle Reese and of course, and Sarah, they're actually, Kyle Reese and Sarah, they're actually in this car. And Terminator's chasing them, tries to kill them. He's actually in the police car, and there's Terminator grabs a shotgun, he grabs that shotgun and fires, bang, bang, and Kyle also fires at him, and Kyle says, grab the wheel. Sarah grabs the wheel, and Kyle grabs the shotgun and goes boom, bang, boom, boom. And he goes boom with one boom, and he shoots him right in the glass. That's actually a stuntman, but then it's Schwarzenegger, which is so great edited, and he gets shoot right in the eye, and he crashes with the police car in the wall. And then Kyle tries to escape with Sarah. The cop shows up, arrests them, but Arnold escapes. Terminator escapes. And back in the motel, when he sticks his eye out, you see all red eye, all bloody. He puts the glasses on it, sunglasses, and there's this guy, says, "What you got? This clean, this room service guy says, hey man, what do you have there? A dead cat?" And Arnold, goes and says, "Fuck you, asshole!" And he grabs it and goes with the gun, And in the police station, because no one believes them, the story, Lieutenant Traxler and Detective Vukovic, with Earl Bowen, who plays Dr. Silverman. He later is gonna be in 2 sequels, Terminator 2, Judgment, and Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. He grabs, no one believes him, the story. They try to kill Sarah. In that time, Terminator shows up, and he says, "I'm friend of Sarah," while Dr. Silverman leaves, he goes to the police station and he says, "I'll be back." And he goes with the car, trash with the car, and goes and kills almost 19 cops, with his weapons, Armalite AR-18 assault rifle, and with his French 12 gauge shotgun, goes and shoots all the cops. He shoots like he makes a police raid, kills all the cops. He destroys the electricity, destroys there's a dark, and he goes shoots them, shoots all the cops. Bang, 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 shoots all the cops. I forgot to mention there's this scene in which Kyle Reese has actually he has a flashback, in his future war, and like he was fighting those machines while running, And there was also this girl. He was such a she-warrior, which I wrote down. The actress. I can't find that I wrote down the actress. It was actually a female. She was a female warrior, and you saw she was blown by one of the Terminators, to pieces. And she looks like Nancy Allen. I know it's not her, but she looks like Nancy Allen from RoboCop. And it was actually Robin. It was actually Robin Antin. She was a female warrior soldier fighting with Reese, and she did all the stunts, And James Cameron believed she could do the stunt, so she did that. Yeah, and of course, she was a founder of Pussycat Dolls later. She was a founder of Pussycat Dolls that band. But it wasn't actually Jean Malini Linda's stunt double. It was actually Robin Antin, and that was great scene. She was a she-warrior with that helmet on, and she gets blown to pieces, and I just love that in the film. Yeah, and of course, like I said, on the police station, Kyle punches one of the detectives, steals the keys, and he escapes. And both Sarah and of course. Sarah and Kyle escapes, and there was also the latest scene in which Sarah and Kyle they actually found Lieutenant Wexler, which he was dying, and he said that he believes them, and he gave them the keys, the car. But that scene was deleted. It is in special feature the deleted scene, but I don't know why was that scene deleted. I don't know why. I wish it wouldn't be deleted. But this is actual rated R horror action film, like a slasher. And yeah, they both escape, and they actually now go hiding. They go to the sticky motel. Of course, when Sarah talks to mother, Terminator finds the mother. He kills her mother. You don't see that, but he imitated the voice of her, and he goes to Tiki Motel, and there's actually a sex scene, and we see Linda Hamilton with tits, and Terminator that time. I love the sex scene, I love Linda with tits. And this movie has balls. It just show they are not afraid to show nudity. And Linda did nudity. She showed her tits. I love her tits. She has a great sexy tits. Well, I like to squeeze her tits in this movie. But man, she was great. I mean, Linda Hamilton was fantastic in my opinion. She was great. She was great in this movie, a scare victim. And of course, now Arnold shows up in the Tiki Motel, and his assault rifle goes fires, but they both escape. They steal the truck. They escape with that truck, and now and yeah, they actually steal the truck. They try to escape, and there's like the Terminator on a motorcycle goes, fires at them, and meantime Kyle switches the car and grabs the pipe bombs, throws the pipe bombs, but they I think they actually have a car crash at the time, because Terminator hits Kyle, he crashes down, and Terminator kills, he gets hit by a truck, he grabs himself under the truck, and he kicks the driver, and says the guy who sits near to him, tells him get out. He goes with the truck, and he starts chasing Linda Hamilton, and we see Linda Hamilton running. That was really Linda. And meantime, Kyle puts the pipe bomb in the truck, in the pipeline. He puts the pipe bomb, and the pipe bomb explodes. Practical effect. it was practical effect. That was really Linda Hamilton running. I didn't see a stunt double for her, and whole track explodes, and I love that. I love the beautiful music score by Brad Fidel, great direction by James Cameron, great action scenes. It has stunts, action scenes, and that time Terminator rise again. They go to the factory, and Kyle tries to make diversion with starting the machines, and in that time, Arnold this time shows up, cyborg with endoskeleton with red eyes, glowing red eyes, and the skeleton chases in the factory. And that time, when I was 6 years old, I was actually screaming when I saw that, and the skeleton. It was so scary. It was really horror slasher, and he goes, Kyle goes, punches the guy, the cyborg punches him, Sarah runs, he puts the pipe bomb in the skeleton, gets blown to pieces, Sarah gets hurt, but Kyle dies. Now the skeleton cyborg goes after Sarah. She goes in the hydraulic press, and she goes and says, "You're Terminator, fucker." And I love that when she goes and crashes the Terminator. "You're Terminated, fucker." I love that. She goes and crashes the Terminator. Love that scene. And by the way, there's another flashback in which now this time Sarah has a flashback, and there's this guy, the Terminator, infiltrates, and starts killing everyone, the dogs, everyone, in the future. And that was Franco Columbo. He was a friend and opponent to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Mr. Olympia, in the bodybuilding competition that time in the 70s. But Arnold that time won, and Franco Columbo was actually the second one. He was he got the gig to be a future Terminator. That was awesome. He was glowing eyes, it was awesome. The effects are great. By the finale, it's like months later when Sarah's been pregnant, and she drives in the highway, and she's been like hassled by a kid who took a picture, and he says something in Spanish, and when she asks the gas attendant, he said the storm's coming, and Sarah says, "I know," and she goes and she drives, and the movie ends with a beautiful score. Yes, this movie has not only that is great special effects by Stan Winston, especially for endoskeleton, mechanical endoskeleton. Everyone that worked well was great in this movie. Great best performance by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Biehn, and of course Linda Hamilton. These three players did fantastic job. Sarah Connor is the only one for me, Linda Hamilton. Kyle Reese is the only one, is Michael Biehn. And Terminator is the only one but Arnold Schwarzenegger. I wish he would play those kind of characters nowadays, And it has tons of action, Like I said, the car chase scenes, Kyle and Terminator shooting each other. Terminator with shotgun, boom, 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 fires on Sarah and Kyle. Kyle grabs the shotgun. They both did actually both stunt doubles, the actual real stunts. There weren't any stunt doubles for Kyle Reese and Linda Hamilton. I didn't see them. And Kyle goes and then boom, 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 fires back, shoots in the windshield, shoots him right in the face, and he crashed. That was great effect. Great, my favorite scene, the car chase in which Arnold has a stolen police car, and gets shot in by Kyle right in the face. I love that scene. I love the music score by Brad Fidel. I mentioned a few times. I love the direction by James Cameron. I love the lines. It can be bargained with it. It can be reasoned with it. It does not feel no pity or remorse or fear, and he won't stop ever until you are dead. And I love that. In the year of darkness, 2029, the rulers of this planet devised the ultimate plan. They would reshape the future by changing the past. The plan required something that felt no pity, no pain, no fear, something unstoppable. They created the Terminator. I love the taglines. I love Arnold's performance, Arnold's best performance. I really do wish that we would have that kind of characters. And yes, I'm a fan of T1. This is my favorite Terminator film. My favorite Terminator is this movie. I'll just show you that disc, which you will see a better. This is my favorite Terminator. My favorite Terminator movie. I'm a fan of T1. Yes, used to be T2 my favorite, but it's been now replaced by T1 because I enjoy this movie more. It's fast paced, 1 hour 47 minutes. It's not that long, and goes quickly around, and I just love that. It's like horror, it's an action film. Yeah, I love the film to death. Released 26 October 94, and it was actually a hit. It actually earned $78 million, so that was fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, but Terminator been all burnt out without flesh, with only being endoskeleted, covered with steel, his red eyes glowing. That's scary. That scene was scary. That movie is scary, Or I love when Sarah says, "You're Terminator, fucker." I love that. Linda Hamilton's best performance. I love that they're both they're all three in this factory. No one helps them, And Kyle gets killed when he puts that pine bomb in the skeleton of Cyborg, and he falls down. Blows the Cyborg to pieces, and I love that. Or when Sarah says, "Can you stop him?" and says, "With these weapons," and no, and I just love that. No bullets can nothing to Arnold, to Cyborg. He's unstoppable killing machine. He kills innocent people. Everyone that's on his way, he kills them. They try to kill him. It's impossible. The cops tries to kill him. They shoot him. Nothing happens to him. Until by Kyle he gets shot in the face. While in Terminator Genesis, he gets so blown to pieces by Kyle Reese, by Jay Courtney, that it's actually impossible. In this movie, he gets shot in the face, but still nothing happens to her, to him, and he crashed with the police car in the wall. So that's great. Anyway, that's my review on the Terminator that started all. Yes, if you already know, there were actually 6 Terminator movies so far. I'll just say 5 sequels. No, I'll just say 3 sequels, 1 reboot, and 1 sequel that was a repeat of the first movie of this movie. Anyway, that's my movie, my favorite sci-fi movie, my favorite action movie. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll review soon Terminator 2 Judgement, which is the sequel. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.